Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the ADCC. And if you are seeing this, it's probably about to go on. It's this weekend. So we have our notes and we want to give our predictions on each weight class. So what we're going to do today, I don't know if you're cool with this, but we're going to do our predictions of each weight class. I want to pick our top three because they're pretty stacked. And then I want to throw in a wild card. A wild card, as you know, is always usually a lucky card you can get who maybe people didn't think you had a chance, right? That's usually the term where we get wild card. If you watch a show, It's Always Sunny, they talk about being the wild card. It's always like a bonus surprise. And so we're gonna choose our top three and a wild card for each weight class. We're gonna go all the way from, we'll start with the light boys, all the way to the heavy boys, all the way to the open class, and then we'll move on to the women. And we'll talk briefly about the event, the super fight, of course, because I'm dying to hear what you have to say, and also the Hall of Famers. The Hall of Fame was this weekend. So, thoughts before we give our predictions?
Can you explain to them what ADCC is?
Oh yeah, so ADCC, if you're not familiar with, is the biggest submission grappling tournament in the world. It's basically like the Olympics for grappling, right? This means that multiple disciplines can enter. From judo, sambo, freestyle wrestling, folk style wrestling, even some MMA fighters have entered before, and of course Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is probably one of the most popular arts represented. And the rules favor overall grappling. So in a judo competition, the rules are simple. You're trying to either take your opponent down or get a pin in judo. But there are a lot of rules. You know, you can't take a double leg shot in judo. In freestyle wrestling, the rules are similar. Sorry, the objective is similar, the rules are different. So in freestyle wrestling, you're trying to take your opponent down, but you can only do it within 2 minutes. You cannot do any submissions like you can in judo. You're not using a gi. You can basically go for a tie and go for double leg, which you can't do in judo. And then so each discipline keeps getting even more extreme. So the next one would be Greco-Roman Wrestling. Then you would do American folk style wrestling. Which is only practiced in the US, which is kind of crazy, right? Then you would go on to sambo competition, combat sambo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? And no-gi, submission grappling. And then finally, you would have, you know, what MMA fighters practice. They do a little bit of everything. And so they enter this competition. The rules really want a lot of takedowns and a lot of submissions. So there's no points counted in the first half of each match to favor submissions, but there's a lot of wrestling. And then after the second half, or rather when the second half starts, you get penalized for pulling guard. So it's kind of a way to like incentivize the wrestler, the takedown artist. And so in the past few years, many Brazilians have won by tradition, but a lot of Americans and a lot of Europeans have won. Wrestlers, American wrestlers like Mark Kerr, Mark Coleman, some of the greats. Of course, grappling has evolved now, and so ADCC stands for the Abu Dhabi Combat Club, and it's every 2 years. It's usually on uneven years, but because of the pandemic, they had to wait a whole year. And there's qualifiers all over the world, but because of the pandemic, they did the qualifications last year and this year, East Coast and West Coast and all over the world, and now we're a year late, which is kind of ironic because it's on an even year. It's in a non-traditional place, which is the US. It's usually in Abu Dhabi or Europe or Brazil or Asia. So they brought it back to the US, and it's a big event, probably the biggest event it's ever been. So those of you that don't know, just look it up. It's a crazy weekend. And they purposely put it on a weekend. I mean, not a lot is going on. Like they say a lot's going on, but it really isn't. Like you have a UFC card, but it's a fight night. So it's not really, they're not really competing with much there in Vegas. Then they have Triple G's fighting this weekend. Isn't he fighting Canelo?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure.
That's
Triple
how
G.
much.
Okay,
That's how little I care.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And then we have the wrestling championships all the way in Iran. Right. So really, this weekend is the Olympics of grappling. If you're not aware, if you just Google ADCC, it'll explode with marketing right now because they're pushing that so much. So yeah, that's basically what it is.
Yeah. Just wanted to make sure that people understood like how big this is.
Yeah, it's the Olympics. So we don't have grappling in the Olympics yet, right? Or I don't know if we ever will, but this is kind of what we have for now. And you know, we had the qualifiers, the East Coast and the West Coast. We had the ADCC Open yesterday. So there's a lot of good competitors who competed and won. Some lost, but it was a big event. And then they had a meet and greet. They had a super seminar that happened tonight. and they had the meeting tonight. The weigh-ins were tonight, and from my understanding, I thought you would weigh in and then you're done, but you have to
They're
weigh
weighing
in
every day. Yeah.
So you cannot weigh in and eat what you want. You have to weigh in and stay at your weight, which I like.
Yeah.
I really like. It
Yeah.
keeps people honest, and it's not cutting weight anymore. It's maintaining a smart weight to compete at. So your thoughts so far on everything?
My thoughts. I'm excited, and I can't wait for us to start talking about these matchups right now. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with. Here, pull up my notes real quick. I've been really looking at this. Let's start with 66 kilos, and you have several competitors with experience. You have people moving down from other weight classes.
Like who?
Gary Tonin usually fights at 77. This is the first time he's ever fought at 66.
He's been looking pretty skinny. That makes sense.
That makes sense, right?
Okay.
Why he looks like that.
Okay.
So, and fun fact, Gary Tonin won when I medaled in 2008 in Nogi Worlds. We're both blue belts.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'll post the picture of that man there. That's the first time I had heard of him.
Damn.
He's some blue belt Nogi Worlds.
And he was still with Danaher at the time? Was he with Danaher?
I believe he was Danaher, but they called it Renzo Gracie.
Okay,
Jiu-Jitsu.
okay.
Might have been Gracie Baja, might have been Gracie. I don't remember.
Okay.
But I could pull up the actual list, and he was featherweight. He was a weight above mine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do, because there are some killers in his weight class, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
Cole Labati, who's what, 17 years old right now, purple
so
belt.
The history with that is his coach has the record for being the youngest ADCC winner.
His coach being
Rafa
Mendez.
Mendez. At age 20, Cole Abate is 17 years old. He's the youngest to win a trials at 16.
Okay.
Which was funny because he got a lot of criticism for winning and then losing the Pan Ams. But what people don't understand is he lost the Pan Ams by a hair to a very good world champion who's now a brown belt and also doing really well. So like the competition pool's crazy. I'm really impressed with Cole Abate. He's training with the AOJ guys. They're very technical. I like his style of jiu-jitsu. It's probably the style that I prefer to teach others. It's very technically driven. It's not really like strength or explosive driven, even though they are athletic.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the style that I really like. I really like Cole Abate. You want me to tell you if he's in my top three?
Yeah,
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm pulling up my. All right, so there's a lot of good names here. So this one was tough. But my top three, and the reason I'm going with these top three is because of experience and because of data. You know me, I like to kind of take away my emotion when I'm looking at this. And so I'm like, who has the most experience at ADCC, understands the rules, can manage the crowd, and is just really good? And so here are my top three. The first one I would have to say is Gary Tonin.
Okay.
He's medaled at the 77 kilos, which is a way tougher division in my opinion than 66. I don't want to say way tougher, but because they're bigger, they're more explosive, it favors the ADCC rules. So when he's going to 66, they're going to have really hard guards to pass, but he's not worried about that. I think he's going to be fine. There's no crazy wrestlers. So Gary Tonin's in my top three. Who's joining him? AJ Agazarm, and I'll tell you why. He also has experience. He also got second place at the ADCC against Gobrina Charles, and he also wrestled. So these guys are pretty much, they were mentioned in the article. It was crazy. I looked up an article, and there were guys mentioned in the article. These are the guys who have the most experience. And then my third would be Kennedy Maciel from Alliance, because Kennedy also has a lot of experience in the no-gi. Who is my wild card? My wild card is Cole Abate.
That's who I'm picking to win the whole thing.
Cole Abate?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Listen, I'm a fan of his.
Yeah.
I want him to win. The only reason I think if he does not win, and he's my wild card, so if he wins, I trusted him, is because lack of experience. At this level, it's so different. Every detail counts, every inch, every centimeter to the left, to the right, how you shoot. And because his wrestling is not as experienced as, for example, AJ, who did wrestle, Kennedy, Gary Tonin, who just have that little bit of that edge of experience, I think Cole Abate will be an ADCC champion. I hope it's this time. I am a really big fan, actually. I think these guys have a slight edge because of experience.
Yeah, I'm thinking that experience, he's gonna get it from his coaching, because they've been there, they've
Right.
done that.
Yeah.
They understand the rules very well.
Right.
I think he's gonna come in very well prepared.
Yeah,
And
he looked great in the qualifiers.
yeah, so I'm picking him to win the whole thing.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just like, I'm still new, so the guys that I'm really familiar with are the guys that are really popping right now.
Right.
So that might have something to do with it. I love the way he approaches. He's very submission oriented, which might
Yes.
not be the best for ADCC.
Well, no, they do favor the submission. Yes and no. They do favor submission attacks. If nothing happens at the end of the ref's decision, they're
Right.
going to look at the person who's
Okay.
more aggressive. So they do favor that. To your point, I agree. I think he has everything. I think he can win it. I think he will win it. The reason I chose him for my wild card is just because of data. Like, who has been there more? Who has done more matches? He has beat a lot of people, but to be fair, he's beat a lot of people that aren't very good.
Okay.
Gary Tonin, AJ, and Kennedy have beat a lot of people who are good.
Okay.
And that's like the big difference between the Koabate that we know, and I'm rooting for him. I really do hope he wins. But at the end of the day, it might not be his time yet, only because of the experience. If he wins, I will not be surprised at all, right? And again, he's my wild card because I'm going based on some of the data. Also, it's very hard for a first-time qualifier to win. It's happened before, but I don't know if you knew this. Marcelo Garcia won his first ADCC title without even winning the qualifier. He went as an alternate. So this tells you that there's a lot of pressure on Cole. There's not a lot of pressure on AJ. Even when I mentioned his name, you were kind of like, what?
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of pressure on Gary Tonin either, because he's kind of like, he's one and done. He doesn't need to prove anything. And there's really not a lot of pressure on Kennedy. Like, his dad already won the ADCC, is a legend in the sport. Kennedy's trying to make a name for himself. So when there's less pressure, there's more of a chance for them to perform well. I think there's a lot of pressure on Cole. I think, which is great. They're marketing him, they're branding him. It's awesome. But he's 17 years old. That's a lot of pressure for a 17-year-old. I would have hoped to shy away a little bit from some of that, exposure. But he seems very physically, mentally strong. I mean, he is my wild card only because of data. If it was me, I would pick him as my number one, but I'm just I'm respecting the other guys who have put in the time there too. So that's and this is my favorite weight class. This is the 66 kilos.
That's your favorite?
Oh yeah, because they're the guys closer to my weight class, so.
Yeah, my favorite's 77, dude.
77?
I like what I'm seeing.
Is it time
here.
to move to the 77?
Yeah,
All right,
dude.
what do you think for the 77?
This weight class is ridiculous. I mean, we've got Cade Rotolo in there, William Tackett, who just won the Open.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of William. I don't know. He just looks like a douchebag to me. I'm sorry. He just has that face, like a very annoying face. Lachlan Giles, who's extremely technical. I'm very curious about Tommy Langacker. Tommy Langacker is very good, but we know him in the gi.
In the gi.
And seeing him in no gi, I don't know how this is going to work out for him. Of course, my number one guy in this weight class, 100%, is Mika Galvao.
Well, wait, let's pause real quick. Let's pause. Going back to 60, real quick. You only gave me one name.
Yeah, because...
You didn't want to talk about any of the other guys?
Okay, so...
I just realized that.
Yeah, so I'm definitely picking Cole to win.
Okay.
Second guy I'm looking at is Gary Tonin, 100%. Gary Tonin. And then I really like Diogo Reyes from Fight Sport, who trains with Mika Galvao.
Okay.
I really like Diogo. I would say he's my wild card.
Oh, he's your wild card. So you got one more.
Okay, one more.
So if he's your wild card, who do you think will? Cole, Gary, and...
So Cole, Gary... Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go Cole, Gary Tonin, Diogo Reyes, wild card, Gabriel Souza.
Okay. Yeah.
Which
Gabriel's
is
good.
It's a ridiculous wild card.
That is.
Yeah.
So those are your three picks?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is there are letters right here, and just go like that, swipe them, and all the names come up right there. And you all right, there we go. Okay, my turn. It's gonna be Gary Tonin, AJ Agazarm, and Kennedy Maciel, and the wild card is Koabate.
Okay.
So you should see the letters right here. There you go.
Okay.
That look cool? Yeah? All right. It probably look terrible, but...
Nah, it's fine.
Okay, all right. So now we can move on to 77.
Yes.
So you were saying Tommy.
I'm curious about Tommy. I'm curious about him. But who I'm picking to win the whole thing is Mika.
Okay.
Mika Galvao.
Okay. Mika Galvao.
And like I don't know how to justify it, except the dude is ridiculous, and I am a huge fan of Mika Galvao. I like his style of jiu-jitsu. I like that he's paying homage to what you call basic jiu-jitsu, where he
Right,
plays
yeah.
close guard. When he tries to pass, he goes half guard and uses half guard to pass. He favors the mount. You know, he goes with your classic age-old submissions, your arm bars, your triangles. I love his style of jiu-jitsu. And he's someone that dabbles in every style of grappling. He has, I believe, a brown belt in judo. His girlfriend is a wrestler, and I know he's actually competed in some wrestling competitions. So I think he's just really, really well-rounded, and he's also really composed and really smart, and he has a really good team behind him. So I'm gonna pick him to submit everybody, bro. Like,
Okay.
yeah, I think he's
Okay.
gonna beat them all.
He's in my top 3 also.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in my
okay.
top 3. Yeah.
And then second guy, I'm gonna go with Cade. I'm gonna go with Cade Rotolo.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
All
gonna
right.
go with Cade Rotolo. I like their style. Their passing style is very unique, and they have so much energy. These guys, they do not get tired. I think he'll be able to overwhelm a lot of those opponents. He'll be able to break them, and he's going to be able to put a lot of passing pressure on them. And their wrestling is also very good. They train on the Atos
Right.
with Andre Galvao, so solid team behind them, and they're also really young too.
Right.
So that's my second. Third, I'm looking at Lakeland Giles.
Oh, cool.
I'm looking at Lakeland
All right.
Giles. Yeah, Lakeland Giles. His jiu-jitsu is just very, very high level, and he's really, really technical. And I think out of everyone here, he's the best leg locker.
I agree with that.
Yeah, he's the best leg locker.
Who's your wild card? Oh, wait,
JT
no.
Torres.
JT's your wild card.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Interesting.
JT would probably be your number one.
Right now he is.
Okay.
JT is my number one.
Just because of how much he's won, his experience level. You know, he's defeated Lucas Lepre.
Yeah, he's just so good.
He'll be my wild card.
He's so good, and even though he's the older of the group, he's not old. Like, he's still young, and he's very precise. He's very patient. His wrestling, he's just very smart. His wrestling is very strong. So yeah, my top 3 is JT.
That's
Mika.
number one. JT's number one for you.
Well, I didn't want to like say who was number 1. I wanted to pick top 3 and just whoever's on the podium. But yeah, I would say JT. I would pick JT over Mika again because of experience.
Gotcha.
I think JT can slow him down. I'm very impressed with Mika Galvao. Like you said, has amazing fundamentals, great wrestling, awesome judo, everything from an arm drag to like a basic foot sweep. But, you know, and I've seen his performances, but when I compared him to like JT, it's just JT does that. So Mika Galvao does that against good people, right? And he does that well. JT does that as well to great people.
Okay.
So, I mean, when you defeat people like he has, Wagner Rocha, Lucas Lepre, I mean, he's the reigning champion for a reason.
Okay.
And to be the champ, you got to beat the champ.
Okay.
And I think he's coming in pretty hot. You know, I saw videos of his training, and I think he's gonna do amazing. And so I have him top 3 for sure. And I have him slightly over Mika because of experience.
Okay.
Again, Mika is my top 3 as well. He's gonna place, in my opinion. Might not be his time this year. If he doesn't win it this year, he will eventually win it. But I'm excited to see him. And third is Cade Rotolo as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
very explosive, very good jiu-jitsu. He has experience as well. He's been in the ADCC already. He's used to that pressure. I don't see him getting nervous at all. If anything, he's excited. And then finally, my wild card is Lachlan Giles as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because if Lachlan plays his game and no one has really studied him, they're in for a real shocker because he will destroy them with his basic guard retention, K guard, matrix entries, 50-50. He's going to give people a lot of problems. But the thing is, I'm a parent, you're a parent, he just had a kid.
Right.
So, you know, I know how that is. Pandemic slowed down the training in Australia. What did it make him do? I saw him training with Craig Jones, who was his former student. I saw them doing some camps and stuff. Did he get the proper training that he did last time? I don't know. That's why he's my wild card.
Okay.
And again, he has experience more than the other ones, but the younger ones might be a little bit more hungry.
Right.
So, yeah. So, JT, Torres, Kate Rotolo, Mika Galvao. Wild card is Lachlan Giles.
Lachlan Giles.
Okay. Like that. All right.
Okay.
Swipe. Or wherever it goes. All right. All right. So we move on to
88.
88. Oh boy. He's getting bigger. These
yeah,
boys.
they're getting big here.
All right.
This 88 is this weight class. I'm not too sure.
Oh, I have a lot to say about this weight class.
You do?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So my number one, I would say, and this is gonna be very weird, but Pedro Marinho.
Okay. I'm curious. What made you pick him as your top
It's
three?
not because he has the greatest jiu-jitsu or because he's the best wrestler. I just think in terms of tactically, I think he's gonna come in with really good tactics. He's gonna be able to play the game, the ADCC game.
Who did he fight recently?
Gordon Ryan.
Oh, that,
He got smashed by Gordon Ryan,
Yeah.
but before that, he beat everybody. He beat literally everybody, and he was beating them by advantage, by 1 point, by playing the game.
Right.
And this whole ADCC thing, it's submission grappling, but it's also about who understands the rules and who really understands how to play that game. And this weight class right here, I'm looking at it, and this is the I'm gonna play the game weight class right here. So I really, really like Pedro. I like him. I like Shanji.
Right.
I like Shanji.
Right, yeah.
I really enjoy
He's
his.
in your top three as well?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
wow.
in my top three.
Okay.
I really enjoy his guard retention. I don't think there's anyone here that's going to be able to pass his guard. And then I like Giancarlo.
He's in your top three?
Giancarlo's in my top
He's
three.
been doing great recently. So
And then my wild card is
Yeah,
going to
who's your
be
wild card?
J-Rod.
okay, that's a good wild card actually.
That's my wild
He's
card.
coming off of trials. He won the American trials.
Yeah.
He looked pretty solid as well.
Yeah.
So
I think yours is going to be wildly different.
it is, but that's okay. And I have my reasons, and I don't know, we have enough time to really talk about everybody here, but I like talking
Let's
about the
just
top
talk.
three. Well, we can, but for example, all right, my top three are gonna look a little different. Giancarlo's on there only because he is a friend of mine. I want to be biased. Remember, I take away emotion.
Right.
The point is, he's been the most recent productive competitor.
Right.
He's competing at every tournament, putting it on the line, moved all the way from Charlotte
To Texas.
to Massachusetts to Texas to train with Danaher. He was already cross-training with them a little bit, really focusing on his no-gi. Won the, I believe it was the IBJJF Pans or Worlds, beat Lucas Barbosa, beat the big names, won the trials, like taking the super fights. And when you see his jiu-jitsu against the other competitors, it's just cleaner.
Yes.
He, of course, trained under Lucas, so I know him really well, but when he learned, and before Lucas, he was already training within other schools. He has very good fundamentals. So when you see him close his guard, he's constantly trying to attack, trying to sweep. You're not going to pass his guard unless he's gassed, right? Like we saw a little bit when he fought J-Rod in that match, but he was.
I mean, he just mounted him.
He
and
got-
just
he
kept
got
him-
his back in the
took his
first minute or less.
and then just gassed out, holding him,
Yeah.
and trying to submit him.
So I see him working on that a little bit. He probably went back to camp and says, okay, I need to train more volume if this is happening. So he's in my top three because of the experience. He's won everything recently. He's on a tear. I picture him to be on the top three. The next guy I chose would be Lucas Barbosa. Hulk, because same thing. He's got the experience.
Okay.
He's been there. He's placed. I'm not sure if he's won. I don't think he's won, but I know he's been there before. So the more experience, it's harder to dethrone these guys, even if they just place, because Lucas Barbosa has also won World's Nogi, Pan's Nogi. I remember him placing at the last ADCC. I don't remember, so that's why he was invited. And then my third. This one's tough because my third and my wild card are kind of hand in hand. It would be between Ty Rotolo and J-Rod. So So
Did I skip over Ty Rotolo?
yeah, you did, but that's okay. Yeah, Tyro Tolo.
I
went up.
did.
Yeah, he's in the
I'm gonna have to change mine, bro.
You gotta change
I'm gonna
yours?
have to change mine.
Yeah,
I totally forgot that Tyro was in here.
He's on a tear as well, and he's doing
Yeah.
extremely well. And I would put him in my top 3 and put J Rod in my wild card because Ty Rotolo has the same cardio as J Rod, right? Has more technique, more experience. But J Rod is a good wild card though because of his wrestling.
Yeah.
And he might be able to work these guys and tire them.
Yeah.
So.
I'm gonna replace Shanji with Ty.
Yeah, Sanchi's good.
I'm gonna replace, but he's older, man.
He's older. He's older. There's an iconic photo of him, and the story goes, it's a quick 10-second story. Hodger Gracie was winning everything. He beat Hodger Gracie, and they were chanting, you know, for Hodger Gracie. And as soon as he beat him, he looked to the crowd that was chanting, and he whispered. And they took this, and there's a huge iconic photo of him whispering after he won and dethroned the champion. Hodger Gracie beat him many times, but it was at one time. That one time he was able to beat him. So awesome. I agree with yours too. I mean, maybe not the Pedro Marino, maybe not, but we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, those are mine. Giancarlo, Ty Rotolo, and who was my third? I'm already forgetting my third. My thing reloaded, so I have to go back to it.
Your third, I believe you said
Giancarlo, Ty Rotolo, and
Giancarlo. Oh, wait, you said Giancarlo. J Rod.
J Rod was my.
Did you say a third person?
I did. J Rod was my wild card. So here, let me go through it again. Here we are. Giancarlo Bodini is my top 3, and then Lucas Barbosa. And then Ty Rotolo.
There you go.
And my wild card is Jay Rodriguez.
There you go.
Wherever my letters are in post-production. And then yours are Pedro Marino, Ty Rotolo, Giancarlo, and your wild card is also J Rod. Okay. All right, we're moving on to less than 99 kilos. Oof. All right.
It's the big boys coming up, man. So this weight class has Nicholas Miragali in there.
Okay.
Nicholas Miragali, he's been doing a really good job in no-gi, surprising a lot of people. I don't think people are surprised by his jiu-jitsu because we all know he has really good jiu-jitsu. And, you know, of course, training in the gi actually does a lot for your no-gi game. But I think people are mostly surprised by his wrestling. Because he's a guy that never wrestled. He would always pull guard.
Yeah.
And then in just a few months, he's literally taken everyone down that he's competed against. People with far more wrestling credentials. I'm not saying that I have him in my top 3 or that he's even my wild card.
Oh, he's not in your top 3?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
I'm surprised.
Yeah. I think the wrestling's gonna be a problem in this weight class for him. I mean, in this weight class, he has Kanye Duarte, I think, and he's got Craig Jones in there. He's got what?
No, these are tough guys. These are tough guys.
I mean, it's a really
who's who.
Yeah, it's a really tough weight class. And then Kyle Bohm. So I would say my number 1 to win is definitely Craig Jones. I think Craig Jones is gonna beat them all. Then I'm gonna go with Kanye Duarte.
That's a good pick too.
Yeah, I like Yuri Simões. Wild card, I'm gonna go with Patrick Gaudo.
Oh wow.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Okay. No, that's good. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
All right. What do you like about Yuri and Patrick?
Well, I've seen them compete against Gordon.
They did pretty well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 2 guys that Gordon really couldn't. He submitted Yuri the first time, but then what I liked was his ability to adjust to Gordon Ryan's game. I haven't seen anyone else do that besides, of course, Felipe Pena.
Right.
But he fought Gordon once and then fought him a second time, and every single attempt to inside Senkaku that Gordon was trying, he shut that down right away, like instantaneously.
Yuri's good.
So I like his ability to read his opponents, make adjustments, and I like that he has a really good base. You know,
Right.
like if you're not able to sweep these guys, and it's ADCC, which favors a lot of wrestling, a lot of top game. I really like his chances.
Okay.
I really like his chances.
And Yuri trains with Kayotera, who is a master tactician as well.
There you go.
Yeah, so he's going to give him a game plan. It's funny, yours is a lot like mine. In my top 3, I have Craig Jones because of experience.
Yeah.
He has a silver medal, so he brings that. His leg locks are really good. But even his basic, people don't realize he was already good before he joined Danaher. He had trained with Lachlan Giles, so he already had this really good guard game. He actually wore a gi a lot and trained jiu-jitsu with a gi. But then he exploded when he started training with Danaher, started winning more matches, and he stuck with no gi because I think it marketed his career better. Yeah. So he's in my top 3. Kanye Duarte, same thing, experience. He's won, he's been there, he knows what he's doing, favors heavy wrestling. He's a great wrestler. Yeah. My 3rd, though, would be Nicholas Miragali, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
His recent few months, like you said, show major improvement, and you, like they say, you have to strike while the iron is hot, right? Not that Yuri has not been competing. I believe in Kayotera's game plan and the stuff they do there. I've trained at a camp there before. That's amazing. The level is so high. But strike while the iron is hot. Strike while the iron is hot, and I believe Nicholas Miragali is on fire right now. Okay. His wrestling's not great, but it's improved. And he's just building a lot of confidence off that. So my wild card is actually Yuri Simos.
Okay.
Yuri probably is the most experienced, most accomplished outside of those guys. And he brings a lot to the table, but we haven't seen him or heard from him. You know, there hasn't really been any training footage. Like, what has he been doing? Right. Not to say that you have to do that, but there's a lot of footage of Nicholas competing, winning, doing, and he looks good for 20 minutes, which is a very good sign for ADCC. Okay. Craig Jones and Kanye Duarte, they won the last ADCC, or they placed well at the last ADCC. I think Craig Jones got 2nd. I think Kanye Duarte won, right? The last one, yeah. So and Yuri Simos has won it too before, I think.
I don't remember.
I believe so. Well, I could be wrong. But regardless, he has a lot of experience. I just haven't seen much from him recently. Now your favorite division.
This is my favorite division only because of Gordon Ryan.
Oh, wait, real fast. Before we go to Gordon Ryan.
Yeah.
We got to go. It's Craig Jones, Craig Jones, Kanye Duarte. I'm always forgetting my 3rd one. God, who is my 3rd one?
Craig.
Kanye Duarte. Nicholas Miragali. Right.
And then Yuri
Simos, my wild card.
There you go.
There. Had to do that so we could. Probably not going to put any letters in post-production. All right, Gordon Ryan.
Yes.
His division.
Yeah.
The king has arrived.
Let me tell you, I look at this weight class and, to be honest with you, I feel sorry for these guys. Felipe Pena is the only other guy in this weight class that, I think is going to be competitive with Gordon. Everyone else, they should just not even compete.
Well, okay, let me ask you this. What about Vinny Magales, who has beaten Gordon before?
I don't think it's going to be anything near. Because in that match, Gordon was playing bottom game, and he was trying to leg lock him. He was trying to leg.
His leg locks don't work.
Yeah, right? He's so flexible. He did get leg locked by Craig Jones.
And that's where I think, again, I believe Craig Jones has more fundamentals than Gordon.
I think it was just a different type of leg lock. Gordon was trying to get him with an inside heel hook, and Craig got him with an outside heel hook. So I think it was just like a different thing, like a different technique that worked. Because Gordon and Gary Tonin, they both lost to Vinny, and they were trying to get him with an inside heel hook. It just didn't work. There's something about the dude's freaking legs that he just can't be submitted by that. And that's actually the more dangerous heel hook, inside. It produces a harder break.
Right.
Anyways. So I don't think Gordon's gonna play guard at all. I think he's gonna play top position, and once he gets on top of these guys, he's gonna force half guard, chest to chest. He's gonna slice through your guard. He's gonna mount him. He's gonna melt him. That's gonna be it. So I'm going Gordon Ryan first, 100%, and then Felipe Pena. Felipe is way better than I initially thought. Honestly, the dude is ridiculously good, and I think he's found something that can at least slow Gordon Ryan down, which is that 50-50 crap that he plays. So Felipe, I would say, is number 2, and then number 3. Number 3, man, I'm gonna go with Nick Rodriguez. And then my wild card, you're gonna be surprised with this one, is Haisam Rita.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Haisam Rita, who's the athlete from Ghana. He's my wild card.
He's a wild card.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's my wild card.
Those are good.
And no, I didn't mention Vinny. I probably should, but
Those are good predictions. Because Gordon, obviously, he's the champ right now. He's going to be in the top 3 for sure. Felipe Pena is going to be in the top 3 for sure. And we'll find out the brackets tonight. So I'm pretty sure they put Pena and Gordon on the opposite side of the brackets.
Yeah. Hopefully they meet
in the finals.
Yeah.
Right. That would be
Hopefully they meet,
awesome.
yeah.
And my third would be Nicky Rod.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I have Gordon, Nicky Rod, Felipe Pena.
Okay. And who's your wild card?
My wild card is gonna be. I remember thinking. I remember getting stuck here when I was studying earlier. I was like, oh man, the wild card's tough because there's like 3 or 4 people in the wild card that could compete for that. It could be any of these. Let me see. Now, without going with emotion, who's been the most?
Don't say Cyborg.
No, I'm trying to think of who's been active, but none of these people have in the wild card. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Vinny.
Vinny? Okay.
As a wild card.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Vinny.
That's a good one.
Because
He's beat Gordon before.
he's beat Gordon
Yeah.
before. He has the confidence. You can't leg lock him. I mean, Craig Jones did, but to be fair, Craig
It's-
Jones is really good.
He's an anomaly when it comes to leg locks.
Right,
Yeah.
and I feel like, because Leandro Lo beat Gordon, but Craig Jones beat Leandro Lo after that. So that's what I'm saying.
It's very interesting, man. Styles, too.
make fights, and
Yeah.
I still think Craig Jones. I might get in trouble for this, but I believe Craig Jones is more technical than Gordon.
You're not the only one who thinks this, man.
Because Gordon's so big, he
Yeah.
can get away with big movement.
Yeah.
Craig Jones is not as big, but he's also not as small, so he has to be technical, and he has to put his kind of skinny and lanky. He's built, but Gordon is like, I mean, you see
a
pictures
tank.
of him.
He's a tank.
He's like
Juiced up.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's acai, man.
Oh,
it's
no, okay,
acai
gotcha,
juice.
gotcha.
Acai bowl, bananas.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Rice and beans
prayers,
and- there
prayers,
you go.
daily
Yeah,
prayers.
yeah.
But Vinny's just as big, and so I could see him being a wild card because he's going to come in. He's probably going to place again. Wouldn't be surprised. Do I think he'll be Gordon? No. I think Felipe Pena has a better shot because he can play that same 50-50 game with shorter time limit. So now he doesn't. So imagine if the fight that we saw was cut in half.
Yeah.
Well, then all of a sudden,
It
could be a decision.
Very interesting.
Right?
Exactly.
It's a decision. Who do you give it to?
Right.
So
You know who I want to talk about though in this weight class? Isn't Rocha in here?
he is.
Joao
He was
Rocha.
between my other wild card
Yeah.
because of his
That
performance,
dude
right?
is huge.
He is.
He's gigantic.
It was between him and Vinny. I went with Vinny only because he has more experience. But man, Rocha,
He gave Gordon some serious issues the first
he
time
made him
they
get
fought.
surgery.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
sprawled on his insights and Gaku
Yeah,
setup, right?
yeah.
So, I mean,
He
he could be another wild
That's
card.
true.
It was right between him
That's
and
I'm actually
Vinny.
gonna switch it.
you're gonna.
I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna. I know. I'm like wishy-washy. I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna switch my wild card to Rocha, man.
Who was your wild card before?
Haisam Rita.
Oh yeah. I
but
think Rocha has
Yeah,
more.
I'm gonna switch it to Rocha.
Yeah, Rocha is also he's won a lot. And I don't have a list of the open class, but for the open class, it's going to be a lot of the same big guys, so we can kind of talk about those. I think in the open class, I have my top 3: Gordon in the open class, Felipe Pena, and I'm going to pick someone from the other weight class, and I believe someone that could hang with these guys at that high level would be Craig Jones.
Yeah,
in top 3.
that would be in my top 3 as well.
Yeah, and wild card,
Nicky Rod.
Nicky Rod is
For
a good
me,
wild card. Yeah,
yeah.
I agree with that. Actually, I'll go with that
He is just so freaking
because
explosive.
the more
man.
fights
Like,
there are in a tournament, the more it favors a wrestler.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
a jiu-jitsu guy, if we were to look at a graph, I guess I'm looking left to right and you're looking right to left. So if we're looking at a graph this way, the more you go into a fight, the bigger the probability of a wrestler winning more of the fights. A jiu-jitsu guy is going to probably go like this.
Yeah.
They don't want to fight a long fight, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because when you fight a wrestler who just wrestled and a jiu-jitsu competitor, it's the opposite. The wrestler gasses, the jiu-jitsu guy catches him. But when a wrestler learns jiu-jitsu,
God.
they get better with time.
It's ridiculous.
They just keep going.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good one. Gordon Ryan, Felipe Pena, Craig Jones, and my bonus would be Nicky Rod.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then take quick time. Gotta give some love to the ladies. So
Man, I don't care about
okay,
that.
all right, it's fine. I could talk about here. Here, it's not fair to the
Misogyny.
women.
Misogyny.
It's not fair to the.
I just don't care. I'm just being honest,
It's
man.
not fair to the women because they have 60 below, 60 above. So basically, they cut it off at 132. So you got a lot of small girls like Maisa Bastos, right? The thing is, she's too small, but she has a chance. So I'm gonna pick her in my top 3. Fionn Davies and Beatriz Mesquita. Bia, she's won before. She's very good and she's heavier. She's closer to 132. She cuts to 132. She's a black belt world champion. For my plus 60.
Jesus, dude, look at this weight class, bro. I mean, it's absurd. The weights are just all over the place.
You're right. I have Gabby Garcia.
Elizabeth Clay,
Gabby
Kendall,
Garcia.
Gabby Garcia.
No, I'm just. It took you a while to catch that. Gabby, no, I think Gabby Garcia will be top 3.
Yeah, well, for sure.
Yeah, so
she's
top
like
3.
500 pounds, bro. Like of pure muscle and acai.
Acai and prayers, bro. Acai and prayers. Kendall.
I like Kendall.
Yeah, I think
like
she's
Kendall,
gonna be in the top 3, and
Elizabeth. Let's put her
Elizabeth.
in there. She's got really good leg. I say I don't care, but I do watch these women.
and for the
often.
open class,
Yeah. Gabby.
I'd go with the same as well.
Yeah,
Those same 3.
Gabby, Elizabeth, Kendall.
Yeah.
I like Elizabeth's chances because of her leg locks. If she gets any of these girls in like any leg entanglement, she's taking a heel hook 100%.
Yeah.
Elizabeth
And the
Clay.
game has changed.
It has.
Girls have gotten really good at wrestling,
Yeah.
and their guards.
So,
have
oh yeah,
evolved.
it's gonna be tough for her because she can't wrestle. She's
can't
a
wrestle.
predominantly guard player.
She got away for the last few decades, just kind of like putting pressure on people that had decent guards. Now you have this amazing plethora of female athletes that just know how to sweep, submit, work their wrestling, work their inside heel hook. It's gonna be tough for her.
Dude, I'm actually gonna go with Kendall with the whole thing.
She could be.
She's the best wrestler out of all of them.
She is, and she's been putting in the time. She's very active in the scene.
Gracie Baja, I like her.
Gracie Baja, they teach really good fundamentals.
Yeah.
Gracie Baja. I know some people that have really good, successful schools that I've been to, in camps that I've been to in Texas. Draculino, Leo Cantu, big names.
Yeah.
Houston, the Houston area. I trained with another, Gracie Baja, Woodlands. He's not there anymore, but he's Marcelo Souza, very high level. This is like not many people know these names, but these are like the who's who. These are the people that grew up with Carlos Gracie.
Okay.
Who the owner of Gracie Baja
Right.
and the founder of IBJJF.
Ah.
So like these guys, I was able to train with them, white belt, blue belt, purple belt from time to time. I got to meet them and I could see the technicality and it was amazing to see them. So these are the people that she's been, the torch has been passed to her.
Right.
So like Gracie Baja is really good, like Alliance, like Gracie Humaita, they're very good at structuring curriculum and teaching the fundamentals. And that's probably why she's real good.
Okay.
So now,
Super fight.
Gordon Ryan, Andre Galvao. I know who you're picking.
I mean, and I have my reasons. So going into this, initially I was thinking that maybe Andre Galvao will be able to like really shock the world and but now I don't think so.
You don't think so? Why don't you think so? What convinces you that it's not gonna happen?
Okay. So are we in agreement that Andre cannot play jiu-jitsu with Gordon Ryan?
When you say play jiu-jitsu, what does that entail?
As in, Andre gets into Gordon Ryan's guard, attempts to pass Gordon Ryan's guard. Attempts to pass the guard. I'm not talking.
I wouldn't say he. Okay, so like to be fair, I wouldn't say he can't hang or he can't play. But I would agree that I believe Gordon, at this point in his career, and Galvao's point, I mean, he's 39, he's going to be 40.
Okay.
I believe Gordon has the advantage on the ground 100%.
Okay.
I think he outweighs him, I think he outreaches him, and I think that...
He has better technique.
Well, I don't know about that, though, because we just talked about Craig Jones a few minutes ago.
Yeah, but
Like-
it's Craig.
Right.
Craig
So-
is probably second best no-gi right now, besides Felipe
probably.
Pena.
Probably, but his technique is so much better than Gordon. It just doesn't look that way because Gordon's much bigger. And for me, I understand it more as a small guy. So you bring a big guy who knows what he's doing, he's wrestled. I got to be extra technical because Bob, we actually do have a Bob, but not that Bob, another Bob. And actually that Bob is also 6'4" or something, right?
Really?
Yeah, he's pretty
I don't know
tall.
what you're talking about.
From the noon class.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people who are, very big, and they don't have to be as technical. And I'm not saying Gordon's not technical. 100% he's technical. But when you start microscoping each part of the layer, the takedowns, the pass guard, the sweeps, the submissions, the control, right? Gordon is good, and I would rate his technique. I would rate his technique like a 10 out of 10. Like I would say that. But just because he has a 10 out of 10, it's hard to compare it to another 10 out of 10. So I don't know if I can say Gordon Ryan's more technical than Galvao. Now I can say Gordon Ryan will probably out-grapple Galvao, but that doesn't mean he's more technical. It means he's bigger, he's longer. I mean, think about it. He knows enough jiu-jitsu, which is really good, and he's got size, and he looks like he's been photoshopped. And so, to be fair, so does Galvao.
Yeah.
But Galvao is 5'10", maybe, right?
Something like that.
What is Gordon, 6'2"? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so his reach span, how do you when you down block and you're pinning the head, how do you work around that? And it's the reason I feel like people like Felipe Peña and Rocha are able to hang and do well with Gordon because they're his size.
Okay.
So, and I'm playing devil's advocate.
Okay.
I have no game in the Atos card at all. Okay. If anything, I'd look bad supporting them, right? Especially with all we'll call it the slapgate. Ever since that happened, people have almost no one's talking about it. So I'm just playing devil's advocate. Is Gordon Ryan a 10? Yes. Is Galvao a 10? Yes. Now, who's better? It's hard because they're not really the same weight. They're not.
Okay.
They're not. It's kind of like when John Jones was taking everyone's lunch money. Do you remember that?
I do.
And you had Machida, who was outstriking him. We can go into UFC talk. Was far more technical. Would you not agree?
Machida was a better striker.
100%. He was winning the fight first round. Remember that? And then what happened second round?
He got caught with a Superman punch and choked out.
Right.
Yeah.
A Superman punch and choked out. Machida is a world-level karate champion, world-level black belt, has fought in the Adcc. How did he get choked out with John Jones? Well, John Jones is 6'5". Both his brothers were in the NFL. They played in the same Super Bowl against each other. Can you imagine their mom? The dinner that night?
Right.
Man, John Jones is an incredible athlete who wrestled JUCO, by the way. Didn't even wrestle Freestyle University. Didn't even go to the Olympics. He learned a little bit of jiu-jitsu, a little bit of striking, and became arguably one of the best ever.
Okay.
Arguably, right? And I want to bring the MMA because you're the MMA guy, right? Everyone has with John Jones right now, he's not the favorite example. I'm still in John Jones mode because I was watching his fights 10 years ago.
Okay.
And then I stopped 10 years ago and I came back in it a few years ago. I'm like, what happened to John Jones? I said, man, you don't want to know what happened to John Jones.
He's lost his mind, bro.
Yeah, but the example fits.
Yeah, it fits.
It fits. So I think Gordon Ryan is the John Jones in that way. He is just an excellent athlete, highly intelligent, knows how to learn, knows how to grapple, and knows how to market. And I do believe at the end of the day, he's a really nice person who's just going on with marketing and tactics. Do I believe he's better on the ground? Yes.
Okay.
It's hard. For me, it's not fair to say that he's better technically, though, and because of size.
Okay.
And I could be wrong. I could eat my words, and Galvao could weigh more than him. I could be, but it's hard to see with those pictures.
Okay. So when I look at the fight and I think of how can each guy win, I would say Galvao has a better chance of out-wrestling him, using his wrestling to his advantage.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's what you would say. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what makes me think that it's not going to be close.
Okay. All right.
The rules, which is supposed to favor Andre Galvao, might actually end up favoring Gordon, because it's a super fight, right? It's 20 minutes.
Right.
The first half is 10 minutes.
That's right. No points.
No points. Second half is 10 minutes. All right.
Right.
So if you were to be smart and you're Andre Galvao, you would want to take Gordon Ryan down when points matters.
Right.
Because you have energy levels to
20 minutes is a long time.
Exactly. So what do you think will be happening in the first 10 minutes?
Right, possible. They could stall.
I'm thinking first 10 minutes, the tactic for Gordon is tire out Galvao in the first 10 minutes. And if Galvao takes me down, who cares? First 10 minutes. If you take me down in the first 10 minutes, who cares? So it's going to be a lot of collar ties.
Okay.
A lot of hanging on.
Baiting him.
Exactly. A lot of hanging on Galvao, and he does that so well. And then by the time...
So Galvao's going to take him down for the first 10 minutes.
I don't think Galvao will, if he's smart.
Okay, interesting.
Because if he takes him down, then what? Okay, let's say he takes down Gordon Ryan. In the first 10 minutes, you cannot get a positive point, but you can get a negative. And they are quick to give you they are quick to give you a negative if they feel like you're stalling.
Right.
Exactly. So let's say Galvao takes down Gordon Ryan in the first 10 minutes. Gordon's just going to stay down. He'll stay down. He's going to butt scoot and try to get him to engage in jiu-jitsu, in actual jiu-jitsu. Is Galvao going to willingly jump into Gordon's guard and start passing? I doubt it. He's probably going to start playing a bit passive. Then what? He gets a negative in the first round. Gordon stays on his butt into round 2, which is the next 10 minutes, and he's still on the ground.
So now he's playing the points.
Now he's playing points game. So if Galvao is smart, he's going to have to conserve his energy to the best of his ability. Fight those collar ties. Don't go for a takedown in the first 10 minutes. Keep your energy levels so the second 10 minutes you can try to really put it on Gordon wrestling. But I don't think he's going to be able to do that.
Okay.
I think by the time it gets to the second half, Gordon would have tired him out enough to where he might even take down Galvao.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, when you're tired, it doesn't matter.
He might even take him down. Because his wrestling has also improved leaps and bounds.
It
I don't
has.
think it's on Galvao's level yet, but it's improved leaps and bounds. And he's using like upper body style wrestling. Are we good? Okay. Upper body style wrestling where he's using sweeps to expose the back. A lot of Kazushi with the collar ties. I just think at some point in the second half, he's going to get Galvao down. He's going to get on top of him, and then that's going to be it. Fight over.
Okay. Yeah, that's a tough one. It's a tough one because I see what you're saying, but I can see Galvao taking him down.
When?
In the first 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then stalling there.
And then he gets a negative.
Will he though?
Dude, they are so quick.
If he's putting pressure, like think about it. Like the way Felipe Peña was trying to pass Gordon, and they're just staying there for a long time and inverting and trying to sweep each other.
If he does that, he's gonna get a negative.
I don't know about that.
I just literally watched Gordon versus Lucas Barboza.
And he did the same thing.
The same thing, and they were so quick to give Lucas a negative that dude, they are quick.
Now
with
Lucas
that.
Barboza's wrestling is nowhere near Galvao's.
No, but they ended up on the ground.
Yeah. And then he just kind of pushed them.
Oh, he was like, he
Yeah,
was
he's
trying.
not very
He was trying to like pretend to pass the guard, and the ref saw through that and gave him a negative.
What if Galvao and Gordon both have a tank?
As in, like
let's just imagine and we say, hey, they're both gonna come out here.
I think they both will have a tank, but I think Gordon manages his energy levels way better than anyone else. That's what I think.
And he hadn't been as active, right?
Exactly.
Until recently.
Yes.
And so he looked good. I mean, he beat again nobodies. The Felipe. I don't want to say nobodies. It sounds terrible. But
Bro, you can say that.
He beat.
We know what you
people-
mean.
Yeah, he beat people that weren't at his level.
That's it.
Weren't at his size.
That's it.
Weren't even black belts.
Yeah.
Like some of them.
Yeah.
He fought Felipe Peña. It was a good competitive match. People were surprised. This is why I think Galvao has a chance to win.
Okay.
This is why.
Okay.
And it's not even the wrestling. The wrestling is technically.
Okay.
I think Gordon would have done really well against Galvao, and I still think he will, if Gordon didn't compete the day before. And then
I see what you mean.
so he's, what
He's
do they
doing
say?
his division.
Don't chew more than you can, right? Is that what you say? Don't bite more than you can chew?
Don't bite more than you can. So he's going for greatness, but it might end up biting him in the ass.
He should have waited for Galvao to retire before that because, Galvao's 39. Now, 39 prospectively can be old, but it can also be young.
No.
It can be young.
No.
Tom Brady's 40.
Yeah, Galvao's good.
Yeah.
He's good.
How old is Tom Brady? 45?
I don't know.
Well, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
Age
Yeah.
is a number sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it matters.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't. And I think that he's doing the open class. He's doing his weight class. He's doing the super fight, trying to be the first in history. And he has a chance to do it. But I think the fact that the super fight is at the end, it's like a movie. It's like a book.
That's a good point.
If they were fresh, 100% Galvao would win. I'm sorry, Gordon Ryan would win. Yeah.
Very good point.
But I'm looking at the whole picture. I just want a competitive match. I want it to be exciting.
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh man, I want it to be exciting.
I want Gordon to just
Did you see the
take him down and
t-shirts
just
he
mount.
made?
I saw the slap.
I don't know if I should leave that.
I saw the t-shirt.
The t-shirt is just, yeah.
He's obnoxious, man.
And people are buying
People
that t-shirt.
love it.
They're buying it.
Dude, I almost bought it
Why didn't you?
because
You didn't want it.
nah, I don't want to go there. No, I don't want to go there because I do like Andre. I just love Gordon. It's like I know when I talk, it seems like I don't like Galvao. I like Galvao. I love Galvao. It's just Gordon is just.
I know when that
he's
sounds
the
like,
face of jiu-jitsu.
I know when
man.
when you hear me talk, you think I don't like
No,
Gordon.
no, I know you do. I know you like him.
I do.
I
He's
know
one
you
of
do.
the best of our time.
Yeah, you respect good jiu-jitsu.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And at the end of the day, his whole gimmick is he's a gimmick.
Exactly.
He's a good guy. I just want to see competitive jiu-jitsu because I like to. Like when you see a football game, you want to see a competitive game. You see soccer, you want to see competitive soccer.
Yeah, I'm the opposite.
Oh, you want a complete domination?
Bro,
it's so boring.
No,
when
no,
that
all my
happens.
favorites are like that. Like if you ask me who my favorite superhero is, Superman. Why?
'Cause he destroys.
Because he barely loses.
But even
He's
Superman has a
a
weakness.
kryptonite. Yeah, but I wish he didn't. I love my
Right,
I
yeah.
love my fighters overpowered.
Yeah.
So I like Lucas Lepre. Like if you look at everyone that I like, they're so ridiculously good. It's what I like. It motivates me because I'm like, how do you get that good?
See, and I like the underdog story.
Yeah, nah,
I like the
I
underdog
don't care
story.
for underdogs, man.
So,
Whatever.
anyhow, I think it's gonna be a great weekend.
Yes, I can't wait.
My prediction is
Whatever happens, it'll be fun.
it's gonna be fun to watch. And so if you guys have a chance, tune in. It's on Flow Grappling. A lot of cool competitors. Henry, it's always great talking about this stuff with you.
Yes.
Do you have any questions about any of the?
I will have questions after.
I think you're gonna have questions.
I'll have
A lot of
questions after. Yeah.
Yeah. And those of you that are into MMA and enjoy that aspect, I really, really highly recommend you tune into the ADCC because it sheds a lot of light. Kenny Florian, I believe, is a commentator.
He is?
This year.
Okay.
He's commentating something.
Okay.
Georgia St. Pierre was there training
Yeah.
with Giancarlo and Gordon Ryan, which was cool to watch. And I'm sure there was a handful of other fighters. I
They were
wouldn't be
using the
surprised.
UFC PI.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I think Gordon was doing some like promotion and marketing there with the UFC fighters, and I wouldn't be surprised if Dana White and those guys showed up a little bit just to kind of see what this is all about. And my hope, this is what I hope, that it's competitive, that the competitors and the fans become better for it. I know that sounds cliche. Like it's okay to market and make an ass of yourself sometimes, but as long as in the end it's just that you're making an ass because it's theatrics and stuff. At the end of the day, I hope whatever happens between Gordon and Galvao, that they shake hands and they squash the beef, right? And I hope, my other hope is that it brings so much more exposure to not only jiu-jitsu, but grappling. I think I was saying, like, if wrestling, and we'll talk about this later, but there's a wrestling championships right now in Iran. If wrestling and ADCC and the UFC are all happening on the same weekend, all three communities can help build the communities way bigger than it is now.
Yeah.
Like, it could be so much bigger than it is now. But it's not, because there's like a wall between each community. And if we can mend these bridges somehow and mend this connection between these worlds, I think culturally and lifestyle, in a lifestyle way, we can really bring more exposure to jiu-jitsu, to MMA, the UFC, one championship, freestyle wrestling. So that's what I hope. I hope that it just gets bigger. I hope Dana White looks over and be like, dang, this is a big deal. Because he's probably scoffed at grappling before, but now he hears about the sponsorships, hears about the payouts, because they pay really well here. If you win, believe it used to be 20 grand or something, which is not a whole lot, but there's just some more seriousness thrown into this stadium and this investment. Yeah. So I'm excited for it. I hope you guys are. Thanks for giving me your thoughts.
Yes, sir.
Kind of wasn't surprised by most of them.
Okay, I'm not figuring.
Yeah, but it's always great. And if you guys have any questions, please shoot them in the comments and let me know what you like to see. As always, follow Marshall and his awesome content. And until next time, keep rolling.
Peace.